Follow along, Catholic Pilgrims, as we follow French doctor of the Church, St. Francis de Sales, through his book, Introduction to the Devout Life. Tune in as we read through this practical guide for living out the Catholic faith well. Hello, my fellow pilgrims. Welcome back. Today is our last reading in the third part, and it's a short one. We've had some pretty long readings lately, and today you get a bit of a break. St. Francis is going to be giving a word to the unmarried, so let's open to chapter 41 of the third part. Chapter 41, a word to the unmarried. If you intend at some future time to marry, preserve with jealousy your first love for your husband. It is a poor fraud to offer a worn, troubled heart instead of one that is pure and intact. But if you are happily called to a virginal and spiritual marriage, then most watchfully keep your whole heart for that divine spouse who, as he is purity itself, can love nothing impure, and to whom we owe the first fruits of everything, but chiefly of love. You will find much useful counsel in the epistles of St. Jerome, and inasmuch as your condition involves obedience, seek a guide under whose direction you can, with greater holiness, dedicate your soul and body to the divine majesty. Our culture has no understanding of the importance and purpose of dating. Dating for many just means hanging out, having fun, and probably hooking up with someone that you are attracted to. A lot of people date just because they don't want to be alone. And a lot of people continue to date people that they aren't really interested in marrying because they feel obligated. So, since I had such an awful dating experience in my teenage years, I would like to offer a few tips to those that are in the dating scene. Number 1, dating should be done with the purpose of marriage in mind. There is no earthly reason why anyone below the age of 16 should be dating. If the purpose of dating is to potentially find a spouse, there is zero reason young teenagers should be dating. Now, that doesn't mean that the first person you go on a date with has to be the person you marry, but it does mean that dating should be intentional, and the second you realize that this is not someone you want to marry, it's time to leave. Number 2, if you are dating someone and you know that you aren't going to marry them, save yourself and them time and heartache and just break up. You are not obligated to them in any way. You are not married. You do not owe them many years. I was engaged to a man before my husband, and I stayed in that relationship way longer than I should have, mostly because I felt obligated to stay because I had said yes to marrying him. I was not obligated, and I should have walked away long before. Number 3, dating is not just for hooking up. This is how you get STDs. This is how you get unwanted pregnancies. This is how you get baggage that you then bring into your future marriage. St. Francis says, quote, "It is a poor fraud to offer a worn, troubled heart instead of one that is pure and intact," unquote. And this doesn't mean that if you've had many dating relationships that you are not marriage material. It's just that we should think about our future spouse even before we meet them. There is no difficult formula to dating, though we complicate it now in our culture. The purpose of it is to find a spouse. And if the person you are dating is looking like they are not going to be that person, break off the relationship for the well-being of both of you. Be discerning with who you go out with. Don't just go out with anyone who asks. And remember that physical attraction isn't everything. You have to be compatible on morals, faith, and general life principles as well. So, date well. That is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I'll see you back here soon for the start of the fourth part. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.